Tonight on KGW News, fire danger jumps as the heat moves in. The early season warning ahead of a summer-like weekend. Also tonight, think your taxes are too high? What Portland's mayor is now doing to try to ease the burden. And later, rooting for the coach who's always cheered them on.
He made this team, and it's like our duty to be there for him. Why
young athletes are rallying around the role model that built a real community on the court. Good evening, and up first, let's get some breaking news of a suspected drunk driving crash in Tigard that sent 3 people to the hospital. This was on 99W near 74th. Witnesses tell us the white truck crossed over the median and ran into a car. Firefighters had to cut that car open to get the victims out. A motorcycle was somehow caught up in all of this, as well as another vehicle. Police say they believe the truck driver was impaired. That person is in custody. Of the 3 people taken to the hospital, 2 of them have serious injuries. Southbound 99W remains closed. All right, let's head outside where we're sitting in the 60s in the Rose City. Chances are, no matter where you were, it was a beautiful late spring day. You know what? We're about to get a change of season, so to speak, in the form of what'll feel like summer arriving early. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino is here. Matt, what can we expect?
Yeah, David, it is going to be a hot run, not only through the weekend, but well into next week, if not through all of next week. So some numbers for you on this. The hottest days will be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Portland will be in the 90s all 3 of those days, and we'll still be in the 80s after that. And even the coast is likely going to see 80s and possibly 90s on Saturday and Sunday. So everybody will be warming up. Everybody in this red area is under an excessive heat watch, which will be converted to an excessive heat advisory or warning by tomorrow. Western Oregon, Western Washington, we're all going to be cooking. So just get ready for it. I know it's early for this, but this is what's coming our way. And in fact, looking at the numbers, it's kind of interesting. Reaching 90 degrees on May 13th, which is what Saturday is and what we're going to do. That means that'll tie 1939 for the 5th earliest 90-degree temperature in Portland. So basically, we've had it earlier than May 13th on 4 other years, but still, that's very early, 5th earliest. Then looking at this one, this is rather interesting too. Our first 90-degree day last year didn't happen until June 25th, so a month and a half later, basically, than what it'll be this year. And even in the very hot summer of 2021, didn't happen until the 1st of June. And perhaps most striking is comparing this Mother's Day to last Mother's Day. Now, Mother's Day last year occurred on the 8th of May, not the 14th, but still, last Mother's Day, we had a high of 53. So think about that. We're going to be 40 degrees warmer this Mother's Day compared to last. David?
Difference a year makes, right? Thank you, Matt. Speaking of these hot and dry conditions, this afternoon, a burn pile outside of Newburgh ran out of control for a short time. Firefighters got there pretty quickly. They knocked it down before the flames threatened some nearby homes. Meanwhile, Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, Canby, and Clackamas fire districts have announced they are temporarily banning backyard burns. Now, here's what Clackamas Fire had to say about barbecues.
If you're using a barbecue, make sure that it's away from your house and on a non-combustible surface, such as like a wood deck. Just try to make sure you're taking care of any embers, and if you can have a garden hose close by in case you need to use that, that would be great.
That would be great. The burn ban starts tomorrow and lasts through at least Monday. A quick reminder tonight to be cautious when cooling off. Cold water shock is a real threat, with the temperatures on the Clackamas, the Willamette, and Columbia hovering around 50, give or take. This is obviously file video here. Rivers are also very high in some spots, fast and full of debris, a dangerous combination. So some advice from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office: only get your feet wet in a safe designated spot. And if you're anywhere on the water, wear a life jacket.
It may not be what you or your kids want to wear, but if you're going to be in the water, right, this is what's going to save your life. Every year we seem to have tragedies in Oregon early season with drownings, and we really want to prevent that.
Life jackets, life jackets, life jackets. He also has a quick common sense reminder for boaters: do not operate a boat impaired and follow the rules of the river. New at 11, a move from the mayor to try to ease up on taxes that are hitting a lot of Portlanders hard. Alma McCarty's in the newsroom. Alma, he started by outlining that taxes in the Rose City are high compared with Washington, Idaho, and even California's Alma there. There's Alma. So what's the mayor doing about it all?
Yeah, well, David, the mayor started his day meeting with agencies like TriMet and utilities like PGE, as well as other local leaders. He says he wants to, quote, hold the line on increases to government taxes, utility rates, and other fees. He's proposing a one-year freeze on those increases. He says Portlanders are overburdened by these hikes, writing in part, "I hear from small business owners and residents on a regular basis who are hitting their limit, and some are considering moving out of the city as a result. Portlanders are paying a premium, and they're not seeing a value in this exchange." That was just the beginning of the discussion. We'll let you know if that proposal gains traction. Tonight, the mayor and other city council members moved on to the budget. We discussed the details last week. More money to public safety, to livability and homeless issues, and to kickstart the charter reform approved by voters in November. Tonight was a chance for Portlanders to speak, and as several reiterated, a chance for commissioners to simply listen. However, not all that many people testified. It was crickets in person, and only 10 people spoke over Zoom. A meeting slated for 2 hours took less than one. Here's what some mentioned.
You really can't go wrong in supporting the parks. So I'd like to advocate that the Parks Foundation's budget be restored.
Without more meaningful revenue increases to raise the compensation levels of the brave people who staff our shelters and homeless response programs, our system risks collapse.
The Elks removal left a void in the heart of our downtown. Its restoration and return to its rightful place serves as a symbol for Portland's resilience.
Very thankful for the DCL program and the support of my journey through that program. So continue to advocate for that to be supported.
Yeah, the DCL program mentioned there is the city's diversity and civic leadership program. 3 speakers testified in support of that. There will be other opportunities to testify, such as next Wednesday from 2 to 5 p.m. when council convenes to approve the mayor's budget. You can also submit written comments. There's a form online, or you can email the city. We'll provide an address and a link on KGW.com. David?
Always important to make your voice heard while you have the chance. Thank you, Alma. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Portland police have identified 2 men killed in a shooting along Southeast Barber Boulevard last week as brothers. They are 33-year-old Dilraj Paul and 27-year-old Gurikbal Singh. This was an afternoon shooting in a strip mall parking lot. Witnesses say they heard an argument before shots were fired. A 21-year-old man faces murder charges. To the Montavilla neighborhood, where an RV caught on fire around 8 this evening. This is viewer video of the scene on Burnside across from Columbia Christian School. Neighbors told us they heard an explosion. No word on the exact cause from fire officials or if anybody was hurt. Roads have since reopened. Well, check out this wild dash cam video from near Hermiston, just released by Oregon State Police. It's recorded from the cab of a semi-truck on I-84 last week. Watch the right, a motorhome traveling passes and then cuts very close in front, bumping the semi, and then loses control. You can see what happened next. Flips onto its side, and then somebody scrambles out the front. Wow, 5 people in the RV suffered minor injuries and had to go to the hospital. The semi-truck driver was not hurt. The motorhome driver was cited. And Portland's downtown Nordstrom is staying open, at least for now. This comes after the company says it was closing up their 35-year-old downtown San Francisco flagship at the end of August. A Nordstrom spokesperson says they have no plans of shutting either Nordstrom or the Nordstrom Rack stores in our downtown. The company has a total of 8 locations in Oregon, with another Rack slated for Salem this fall.